things fresh, recipes.
Hi family, it's your cousins here at the Hillman Files, back with another video.
Another one.
Many people aren't aware that the legendary Debbie Allen directed the first 2 episodes of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Debbie had a long history and relationship with the executives at NBC, and no doubt they knew her results-driven, impeccable resume, which included Debbie's work on NBC shows Fame and A Different World, which at the time was the #1 sitcom on the network, even ahead of its lead-in and parent, so to speak, The Cosby Show. So when the idea for The Fresh Prince came about, network executives knew just the right person, woman, for the job.
NBC was very endeared to me. I'd been there with Fame, and now I was doing Different World. And they said, well, we want you over here with us. So I said, okay. So it was like the hottest pilot in town. My agent, Sam Haskell, really networked that whole thing, navigated that.
At the time, Debbie was entering the 4th season of A Different World as the show's director and, let's just keep it real, HBIC. The 4th season of A Different World started on September 20th, 1990, and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air made its television debut just 10 days prior on September 10th, 1990.
Hey, Aunt Viv! How you doing?
Hi. Oh my goodness, let me look at you. Turn around. Honey, the last time we saw you, you were this funny little boy. Now look at you. Oh my goodness, you are a man.
Well, that was the plan.
It is amazing. You certainly have grown, Will.
Well, we all have.
Fresh Prince, I directed the pilot. I saw Will's willingness to try anything and his appetite and his ability to bring such joy. He brought a smile on everybody's face every time.
You tell him, Aunt Viv.
And as for you, young man.
Love you.
Debbie also directed the 2nd episode of the sitcom called Bang the Drum, Ashley, in which Ashley ditches her violin for the drums, at the encouragement and assistance of Will, of course. This episode gave us some classic moments for the show. It was also the first time we got to meet Will Smith's real-life best friend and DJ Jazzy Jeff, in his role as Jazz.
Master William, there is a young gentleman downstairs with a rather large radio who is here to see you. He claims his name is Jazz.
Yo, word up, set him up.
No. Who is this Jazz fellow?
Yo, I heard the boy at the club, he is all of that. I hope he's gonna be Ashley's new music teacher. I mean, now, he's not as experienced as Madam Chachka, but then who is?
Mr. Jazz.
It's nice to meet you, Jazz.
How do you do? I'm Mr. Banks.
You got that right. Man, you loaded! Yo, what's up, Jay?
And this episode contains the inaugural throwing out of Jazz by Uncle Phil.
Oh, yes. Listen, darling. Listen to the violins. Beautiful. Oh. The oboes will be coming next.
Just an FYI, you may see Debbie credited as the director for a few additional episodes for the sitcom, but that information is not accurate. Jeff Melman was actually the director for those episodes. One interesting and cool detail we noticed was how Debbie included her friend, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, in the second episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We find that interesting because she had included him in an episode of A Different World the year prior.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! Oh man, I know you must be tired of hearing this, but you look just like Jesse Jackson. I don't know who your partners are, but if you put your face on the truck, you get a lot more business.
Didn't mean to surprise you, I'm early.
You know something? You sound like him too.
I am him, I'm Jesse Jackson.
Get out of here. You ain't no Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson, first of all, is a lot taller than you are. Second of all, Jesse Jackson run Operation Push, not Operation Push the Vacuum.
Can I have one, Daddy?
When Jesse Jackson gets a job.
Debbie also named Will's aunt, whose name was originally set to be Wendy Banks. Aunt Wendy? It's a no for us. It's giving 4 for 4. Anyway, once Debbie came in, she renamed the role Vivian after her mother and daughter. As most of you know, actor Alfonso Ribeiro played the role of Carlton Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Well, Debbie relayed that she had to fight to keep him on the show because reportedly the executives at NBC were not at all impressed with his performance during the pilot and felt he wasn't a good fit for the show.
Ah, Malcolm X.
Yeah, he's sort of my hero.
Well, he was a great man. I don't know if I'd call him my hero exactly.
Oh, really? Who are your heroes?
Well, my dad. And Brian Gumble, he's darn good.
Alfonso Ribeiro, I stood up and fought for him because, you know, they wanted to fire him after the pilot, during the pilot. I said, guys, this is the series. This is the oil and water. This is it. The two of them, this is his nemesis. Come on. Carlton, the two of them, come on. That was the show. That was the whole show, the two of them.
The most interesting part about this is that Alfonso Ribeiro was asked to join A Different World right before The Fresh Prince started, and he had to choose between the two shows. We are not sure of the role that he would have played because, again, at the time, A Different World was in its 4th season, so we can only guess that maybe Alfonso was being offered the role of Terrence Taylor, the son of Colonel Taylor. Again, we are just assuming because Terrence Taylor's role was added to A Different World during the 4th season and was the only main male role that matches the timeline. Here's a clip of Alfonso Ribeiro explaining his decision to go with The Fresh Prince.
I'd kind of walked away from the business a little bit, but when I came back, I had an opportunity to do 2 shows, and one was called A Different World, which was the spinoff with Lisa Bonet and Kadeem Hardison. And then I got the opportunity to do this pilot or presentation for a buddy of mine, Will, called The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I had to actually make a choice as to which one I wanted to do, because if I'd chosen A Different World, it would have been a whole different story, right? But I essentially auditioned like everybody else and was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to do the show.
That's crazy. So 2 major shows. I mean, obviously A Different World went on to be its own huge success. There you are standing at the door of 2 shows that were amazing. What made you did you pick the role of Carlton over the other? What happened there?
Yes, I picked the role of Carlton because I had hung out with Will and Jeff. And Jeff knows, and we laugh about the story all the time. But we went to Disneyland. We went to Disneyland, and we hung out at the Endless Summer Jam. And so, having spent time with them, I felt there was some sort of magic there. There was something special about them. And, you know, whether he could act or whether he could deliver being an actor, nobody knew. But I felt like, wow, this is something that if it works out is going to blow up and be special. And I had to make the choice. One was already on the air for several seasons. This was a presentation that wasn't even, maybe not even a real pilot. But something in my gut said that Will was going to be special.
We're really glad that Debbie was able to save Alfonso because we think that he was perfect for the role of Carlton Banks, and he gave us some pretty classic moments as well.
money down. Yo, what's up?
Carlton, what the hell are you wearing?
Yo, this?
Carlton, you look like a pirate.
Yo, stop front. You know this gear's chill.
Why are you talking like that?
Yo, how you playing me, Prince?
What?
Yo, you dissing me.
Come on, man, stop it! Oh my God, she's still up there! Oh my God! Gotcha!
The exact reason or reasons that Debbie did not remain in the role with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is not exactly clear to us, but Debbie did express behind-the-scenes power struggle issues that may or may not have contributed to her not continuing on with the show.
Again, there I was in the middle of a battle. There were the Borowitzes and there was Benny Medina. And I don't know quite, it seemed like the concept of the show was Benny's idea, and Will Smith was one of his artists. The Borowitzes were the writers. And you know, there's a technical union that says if you write it, you create it. But then it was his idea. So there was a lot of stuff going on that really didn't have to do with us about who was the real creator of the show. And I was in on those meetings, and the cast was already done. The cast was already done when I got there. And Quincy Jones was a big part of it. And he really helped keep the peace a lot. But then once the show got going, he just wasn't available to be there all the time. But he was a big factor. I remember sitting at the table with Brandon Tartikoff and Warren Littlefield and Quincy Jones, the Borowitzes, Benny Medina. Oh, my God. And it was, I was just watching kind of how the bullets were flying, but then it got more subdued because we had a job to do.
Just to expand on what Debbie said and provide some clarity for those that may not be aware, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is said to be based on the life of music executive and talent manager Benny Medina. Benny Medina started in the industry as a teenager and was the protege to Berry Gordy at some point in time. He may be best known for his role as the manager for Jennifer Lopez, an ex-manager to Mariah Carey. And if you know the history and relationship between Jennifer Lopez and Mariah Carey, that's a pretty interesting dynamic within itself that he managed both of them. All we will say is, moving along. At the time of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Benny Medina was actually Will Smith's manager and got him the role as the Fresh Prince.
Because I think he has a real unique ability in terms of acting. I think he's got a real appeal on the screen, and mostly because of some of the things he had done originally in his videos and stuff like that, you know.
Thanks, Benny.
You're welcome.
Also, as Debbie relayed, mega producer and legend Quincy Jones was also a producer on the show.
Benny Medina, from Warner, at that time he was the head of black music at Warner Brothers. And he kept telling me about this story that occurred with an old friend of mine that, when I was living in Paris, working with Barclay Records to study. Michel Legrand was conducting for Maurice Chevalier, and Jack Elliott was conducting for Jacqueline Francois. And we all hung out in Paris at that time and got back. Evidently, Benny's parents left him when he was living in the ghetto, and Jack took him into his the apartment over the Beverly Hills apartment over the garage with his son Alan Elliott, right? That was the genesis of it. And that idea we liked, you know. Then in the process, you know, we got Andy and Susan Berkowitz. Borowitz, rather, the family was changed to a bougie black family, which made it much stronger. And we got the great cast right away, right away. Just, it stuck like glue, and it's either right or something. And we were on air in 10 weeks after the pitch. 10 weeks. No time for paralysis, analysis, nobody time for notes and all that junk, Just did it.
Here's one of our absolute favorite scenes from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that includes Will, singer Albie Shore, Quincy Jones, and our very own favorite Dwayne Wayne, Kadeem Hardison.
Yo, what's up, Al? Hey, man, I'm glad you could come on such short notice, man. Yo, I need a big favor.
Anything for you.
Quincy Jones, Albie Shore.
Quincy G. Hey, Quincy Jones.
Oh, yeah,
what's happening?
This is hot.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, y'all get to work on that track.
All right, let's do it. Well, 8:30, I gotta see A Different World. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, I love that show. Really? Yeah. Hey, yo, Kay! What? I want you to meet a couple close personal friends of mine. Quincy Jones, Albie Shore, Kadeem Hardison.
Man, this dude knows everybody.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air went on to be one of the most successful sitcoms of all time. Debbie and Will continued to be close, along with his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, who of course appeared on A Different World in the role of Lena James. Jada was one of the presenters for Debbie's Emmys Governor's Award last month, and Debbie attended Jada's 50th birthday party around that same time, and Debbie even mentioned it during her acceptance speech. Well, cousins, that does it for us. Be sure to follow and interact with us on all platforms.
Guess my job is done.
Until the next time, family, bye.
Oh, my goodness, who turned off the lights?